he does a business that lets him cross the road every now and then. Michael Nimate has lost 3 friends in 2 months. 3 friends in 2 months. One of those friends he lost is Lillian Akrofi Bediako. We know her as Ata, a nail technician apprentice. And her boyfriend is here, Samson Boafo. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Don.
The Ministry for Roads and Highways, Ministry for Interior and for Transport have released a joint statement. They are the joint committee, Interministerial Joint Committee on Road Safety. They have released a statement talking about what steps are going to be taken after this. These are the people who are directly affected by the absence of the footbridges and safety mechanisms on the road. They themselves would evaluate what steps the ministry is taking and see if it is adequate in their eyes. But we will be speaking to the minister himself, Kwesi Amwakwata, so you want to stay with us for that conversation. Now, with GT Bank's mobile banking platform 737, you can open an account in less than a minute on your mobile phone without having to visit the banking hall. Unbelievable, right? It's simple. Just dial *737 *1# on your phone and follow the prompts. Enter your preferred 4-digit PIN and the new GT Bank account number is generated for you instantly. This takes less than a minute. And guess what? You can link your instant accounts to your mobile money wallet for easy transfers by dialing *737# and choosing the last option. You can also get an instant Visa or MasterCard at GT Bank today. Very simple and convenient. Just dial *737 *1# to get started today. For further assistance, please call 050 144 9481 or 050 140 9480. Bank *737 has simple banking for every Ghanaian. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Now, making calls on Vodafone just got more exciting on the spanking new Vodafone Talk to Browse offer. Now, when you call Vodafone on any other network, you get 10 megabytes of free data for every minute you talk. So you can call Vodafone or any other network and you get 10 megabytes of free data for every minute you talk. It's as simple as that. Accumulate more minutes of talk and get much more data to browse. The more minutes you talk, the more data you get. Simply dial 5050 to subscribe to this mouth-watering offer. Speak in megabytes with Vodafone Talk to Browse. Talk more, browse more. The future is exciting. Ready? Now, why would you buy an inferior mattress? As human beings, we spend about a third of our lives in bed. If you were going to spend that much time in bed, wouldn't you rather be lying on a mattress that is just right for you? Buy latex foam. Be smart. Treat yourself well with latex foam mattress. Don't spend a third of your life sleeping on the wrong mattress or else you did do yourself. Latex foam, your partner for life. Social media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by Telecel 4G Just a Touch and EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Let me come first of all to my guests in studio. Like I said, Samson Boafo, boyfriend to Lillian Akrofi Bediako, who died last Friday, the nail technician apprentice. Michael Nimate, friend to Samson and Lillian, and he lost 2 other friends in the past 2 months. So he's lost 3 friends in total in 2 months. And then there's Selom Brand here. I'll be honest with you, my first fix our footbridges now hashtag that I saw on Facebook was on Selom's wall. And that was back when only about 185 people had died. Unfortunately, we tried to make some noise, and let me begin by saying this simple thing. It's a simple message that I have. Today, this morning, we would like to, all of us here, would like to dedicate the Super Morning Show to 194 people whose stories we never told. The mothers, the fathers, the sisters, brothers, and friends we all lost to the dangerous Madina Adentan highway. Now, to these 194, I don't know what your dreams were. Don't know the lives you lived. Maybe one of you had dreams of leading this nation, finding a cure for cancer, writing a Grammy-winning song, starting a global business. We don't know. We would never know. So today, every word we speak, every song we play, everything we do will be an apology. We're sorry for merely counting your deaths. We're sorry we didn't count, we didn't shout loud enough or fight hard enough. If there's anything more that we could have done to reverse just one of you, whether it was Atta, whether it was this first year student yesterday, we're sorry. We're sorry we didn't check our speed when we're driving. We didn't ask you to take your time when you were crossing. We're sorry that you're gone.
Spot. So 4, 5, 6, 7 policemen in the center of the road firing the guns. Evans, I hope you can hear that. They are firing just to ward off the agitated residents. The residents are now making their way away from the action. That is what is happening here, Evans. So the tires are still being bent. The water cannons are being used now to douse the flames while the police fire tear gas into the crowd. This is chaotic, Evans. You can hear the shots for yourself. Residents are running for cover literally at the moment, just so they avoid a stray bullet from the police. They are running to adjoining shops, mechanic shops, just to take cover while the police fire into the air. And from nowhere, I see these two people running right now. Stones from nowhere are flying all over the place. Evans, this is becoming a scene. Stones are flying all over the place. The police are also running for cover amidst the firing of the gunshots. This Yopi has just reacted into his vehicle while the police continue to ward off the agitating residents. The stones are flying. Wow. Evans, this is really, really, really chaotic here at Adentan SDA. So from where I stand at the mechanic shop, I see that, some toy buildings have individuals lined up all over the place. Okay, the stones are becoming too many now. The stones are flying from all directions now, Evans. And the police are not willing to watch this happening. They're firing. They're still firing. That's the situation here at Adentan SDA Junction, specifically, Evans. The sirens are blaring now. The police are hopping from one end, chasing the direction of the stone. Where the stones are coming from, they are moving towards those directions just to see if they can find somebody. Warning shots firing all over the place. Very, very chaotic. Evans. A line of police officers are now moving away from a footbridge to get the people to run. Okay, Evans, the residents will not have this lying down. They are putting up a fight as well. I see a few of them trying to confront our policemen who are here. The fire service vehicle itself is being pelted with a lot of stones here. Wow. This is chaotic. Just trying to position myself so I do not come in the center of the crossfire. Henry!
The events as they happen, when they happen, where they happen. Joy 99.
So that was Komla Dum reporting on, well, it was a breaking news story yesterday around 4 p.m. when the youth of Madina Adentan began to revolt.
Until the fella.
They are remobilizing. And as I did say, that within 2 months, they will come back because we have negotiated with them and we have gone far and we have reached an agreement. Yes, it did happen. They came back. And there are issues relating to that. That's why I'm saying that it's not as easy as that. And that's
So when are they expected to finish the footbridges?
I will speak to that when I come back. Daniel, please don't push me too. I say I will speak to that. Simple. When I come back. Thank you very much.
And until the ignoble and unhappy regime.
It's nearly 8 a.m. here on the Super Morning Show in Joy 99.7 FM. You just heard Kwesi Amwakwata. He's a Minister for Roads and Highways, telling us that he would tell us exactly when the footbridges will be ready when he comes back from Takoradi. He was on a 3-day tour at the time. We spoke to him earlier this week. However, he, together with Ambrose Derry, Minister for Interior, and Kweku Ofori-Esiama, Minister for Transport, have released a joint statement last night after what happened on the Madina Adentan Highway. And they are saying that in a week there will be a contractor on the road and policemen will be deployed to watch traffic on the road this morning. Now, we will be speaking with him to get further and better particulars of these measures here on the show today. But we have with us, like I said, Samson Boafo, boyfriend of Lillian, who passed away last Friday, and Lillian Akrofi Bediako, the nail technician apprentice. There's also Michael Nimate, who is a friend of the both of them, who he lost two other friends, Okweku and Richmond. Yes, and then Atta on that highway as well. Selom Brantier, who is a member of the Fix Our Footbridges Now campaign. Guys, good morning again.
Good morning, Dan.
I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. Samson, let me speak with you first. So, first of all, you were with Lillian on Friday.
Yes, please.
When the unfortunate happened.
Yes, please.
Tell us what happened on Friday night.
It was like we went to the roadside to buy food. They say kwakote aduane. Nti yes, say kwakote aduane no, e call tilapia guy be joint be. He's one of our friends.
You went to buy food? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were having a friend at the junction who sells tilapia. So we went there to buy tilapia, and he was saying that the ones on fire now is not yet done. So we have to wait for a while. So she was telling me that she want to fry egg at the other side of the road. So I was there waiting, and what I saw is that she just crossed the road and went to the first lane of the road of the street.
Okay, so she got to the middle of the street, the median.
The middle, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I immediately also crossed and went closer to her. So we were standing, and what I saw was that she first crossed the road, and the car just knocked her at that very moment. So I was confused, and I don't know what to do. At that very moment, too, another car too was coming, and it also hit her on the same road at that very moment.
So she was lying on the floor after the first car hit her?
Yeah.
And the second car ran over her?
Over her, yeah. So I was the one who pulled her back to the side of the road. So I tried chasing the driver and see whether I can meet. But then people were coming around, so the driver just took off and just ran away.
When you were pulling her off the road, was she alive?
No, she was not alive. At that time, that means she was already dead at that very time.
So there was no hope to take her to the hospital for anything at the time?
Well.
Very sorry for your loss, Samson. And we have pictures of Lillian that Samson shared with us. We are sharing them on social media, on our Facebook and our Twitter handles at the moment. What kind of a person was Lillian like? What did she like to do?
Oh, she's a very fun girl, and she's a calm girl too.
Of course, there's a so she was learning to be a nail technician apprentice. Did she ever share with you what she wanted to do after she finished?
Oh, she wanted to open her own spot, like a bar. Yeah. After she was working at a place called in Madina called the name Ajida. That was where she was working at first. So she was planning to open her own spot after the incident.
She was working towards this.
Yes,
she was saving some money.
Yeah.
She was, but she was learning to be a nail technician apprentice as
she
well.
has learned that work before.
She has learned that work before.
Yeah.
Okay, but so what work was she doing now?
She was working at the spot.
Oh, okay, at like a bar,
Yeah,
and she was trying to save up to open one of her own.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Michael, you also knew Lillian.
Yes, I do. I do through Samson. I am very close to Samson, more like a brother. We've been in the same hood. The distance from my home to his house is just a few distance, so I've known him for a very long time. Through him, I got to meet Atta, and just some few months, or let's say time I've got to know Atta. She's one of a kind, fun to be with, and you have no idea who she is till you meet her. Till you meet her in person.
Wow. So we are listening to the Super Morning Show. We are having a conversation that's not easy to have. I'm here with two people who have lost a loved one. Michael has lost 3 actually, and Samson has lost probably one of the most important people to him. Someone he was.
He knows them, so
he knows the two of them.
You
know the two of them as well. So back to Lynette. You guys were of course planning to spend the rest of your lives together, planning to get married at a point.
Yes, please. We plan to even do the knocking this very December.
So you are going to begin marriage?
Yeah. We're planning to marry.
From this December?
Yeah.
How does... When what happened, what was going on in your mind?
I was very confused at that very time. And
but you yourself could also have been hit. I mean, you were right there with her.
Very well.
It's a difficult moment for us here in the studio. Samson Boafo is here. Michael Numate is here. Selon Brantier is also here. Latif, Nick, who died?
My only brother.
Your only brother?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
31st July.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. So who was he? What work did he do? How old was he?
I think he's the one whose name was mentioned. He's the Julius Michael Okroku. I'm sure the guys in the studio know him.
Yes.
He was 32. He was a young man who had gotten a new job at a hardware place, and he was trying to, start his life and make his dreams come true, and unfortunately, he had visited his mom, our mom at Takora. So he was crossing the road back to the other side, and unfortunately, around 7:30, I was called to come to the Legon Hospital. I got there, and I met his lifeless body.
Okay. Nick, thanks so much. This was your only brother. And
yeah, we're just two boys. So
how has the family been taking it?
I'm sure you know this will be hard. It's been hard. I mean, you can say it's been like almost 3 months, but personally, I'm not sure I've gotten over it. I'm not sure my mom has gotten over it. It's been tough on all of us because it was very unexpected. And this is somebody, we grew up together, and we slept on the same bed, we had good times. We're brothers, so you can understand that. So for such a person to be gone just all of a sudden without any, even time to maybe talk to him and know what exactly happened, and because it was an instant thing. The car hit him, and by the time he got to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. So there was nothing like maybe last minute conversation to even say goodbye. So it's been tough. I can tell you that ever since my brother died, there has never been a night that I don't dream about him. I literally have meals with him in my dream, talk to him, play. It's crazy. It's been tough, but yeah, life must go on. That's what I keep telling myself, that life must go on. But it's been hard.
Nick, it must be even hard walking through these moments with us. I have one question for all of you in studio here with me and on the phone as well. What is the one message you would like to send across? What do you all want done with respect to the situation on the Madina Adentan stretch? And whilst we're at it, government has released a statement. Do we believe it's enough to prevent any more of these deaths? We'll answer that question when we come back. Nick, I know you would like to tackle that. We'll give you the chance to answer that for us when we come back. It's 11 minutes past 8 on the Super Morning Show. Stay with us.
I wake up in the morning, it's a new day, and I got bills that I have to pay. Now you're running late, running out of time. Feels like the world is waiting in line. All you gotta do is pick up the phone and just dial 737. So whatever you do, whoever you are, there is an easy way for everyone. The simple life is just one touch away. Experience the magic starting today. And it all begins with 737. And it all begins with 737. 737.
You see, I don't need to write or cash a check. I don't need data or internet. I have something that's faster than a jet. Just like
what they're talking about. You could be a palm wine topper, a teacher, a rapper, a schoolboy, or a school girl, or a trader, a bank MD, a chairman, or a baker.
Guaranteed Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Hello, I say, how did you know? Vodafone normal 10 megabyte free data. It will call Smart Rubiadron. Share.
Hello, have you heard that Vodafone is giving 10 megabyte free data for every minute you talk? You just dial 50-50.
Yeah, hello? Aha! Right now, with the Vodafone people, just they can call plenty. Sake of us, you talk 1 minute, you go get 10 megabytes. You talk 2 minutes, you go get 20 megabytes. 3 minutes.
Call Vodafone or any network and get 10 megabytes of free data every minute you talk. It's simple. Talk to browse. The more you talk, the more data you get. Dial 50-50 to subscribe. Talk more, browse more. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Would you buy a blade that doesn't cut? How about a freezer that doesn't cool enough to freeze? And what of medicine that wouldn't cure you or take your pain away?
No way.
So why would you buy a mattress that does not provide you with good quality sleep and rest? As humans, we spend about a third of our lives in bed. Since you are going to spend that much time, wouldn't you rather be lying on a mattress that is clean and just right for your body? Be smart. Treat yourself well. Don't spend 1/3 of your life sleeping on the wrong mattress. Or else, you do yourself. Latest Foam, your partner for life.
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800-222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
Move on up, 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 up.
Moving on up is paying from your phone and getting looks of approval from your friends. Moving on up is doing all your banking from your bathroom like a boss. Moving on up is losing your wallet, but your money is still safe. Moving on up is attaching any bank's card to the EcoBank mobile app. Oya, download the EcoBank mobile app. Make we go and bank like a boss.
Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Reminder, it's a free morning. Talk and browse on Airtel Tigo from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day for free. Airtel Tigo.
It's a new day. I want you to first think big, not small. Think of how great we can be when we work together. Together, we can ensure that our hard work will provide a better future. Together, we can provide a foundation for you and your business to succeed, regardless of its size. Together, we can create opportunities for all. Bank with us today and let's journey forward together. Forward together. Cowbank, forward together.
It's time to own a hotel-inspired apartment near Accra Mall and switch on your urban life with a cool price starting from 315,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, you heard me. Choose our market-leading studio, 1, 2, or 3-bedroom apartment from Oasis Park Condominium at Tetakwashi and enjoy urban resort life. For this and more, call Evelyn on 0204 343 011 or Kojo on 0204 343 008. This is another catered development by CPL Developers. CPL Developers, built for life.
Come, all ye people. The clouds are gathering over the Empowerment Worship Center, where the set man of the house, Prophet Gideon Danso, with mighty men across the globe, will stir, charge, and set the atmosphere right for heaven to kiss the earth. Heaven on Earth 2018 with Gideon Danso, Adam Deso, Bradley Knight, Kian Hedison, Biodun Fatayimbo, Marty Thompson, and a special youth edition with Manny Arango. What's more, we finish hard with Phil Thompson and EWC live in worship. 13th to the 18th of November 2018 at the Empowerment Worship Center Auditorium, Achimota, near the new bus terminal, right behind the Stanbic Bank. Morning session, 9 a.m. Evening session, 6 p.m. Fam, listen, don't be on time, beat the time. Heaven on Earth 2018, Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives.
Worship. It is here again. The 4th Africa Oil Governance Summit comes off at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra, on the 13th and 14th of November 2018. The summit this year explores local content under the theme Harnessing the Potential of Local Content for Economic Growth and Inclusive Development. The event is powered by the Africa Center for Energy Policy in partnership with Oxfam, Ford Foundation, Open University UK, University of Dundee, the Natural Resource Governance Institute, and backed by the Energy Ministry. This will be live on the Facebook page of ASAP. Visit africaoilsummit.org for more information.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Get up, stand up. Stand.
This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Daniel Dazi here with Samson Boafo, Michael Nimate, and Selon Brantier Inimado. Samson is the boyfriend of Lillian Akrofi Bediako. She's the nail technician apprentice who passed away last Friday from a pedestrian knockdown. A car knocked her, another car ran over her while she was lying, gasping for her breath. And That happened last Friday. Yesterday, another student, a first-year student of West Africa Senior High School who had gone to register for school and was coming back home to her mother, met her death. She was also hit by a car, and it sparked a spontaneous demonstration, blocking of the road, a protest. Police came in, were firing tear gas, were firing live rounds into the crowd. Let me just inform you, we will be speaking to the family of the 14-year-old boy who was shot yesterday by the police. Of course, it was a mistaken, it was a mistake that the police made. But why were they firing live rounds in the crowd anyway? Why were they throwing tear gas at the people anyway? Is this the best step that the police used? The security have an expression they call reasonable force. Was this reasonable force, or it was excessive? Dr. Kwesi Anin is the Director, Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. He'll be joining us on the line shortly to tell us what he thinks. Now, need experts to handle your insurance needs? Talk to J&G Insurance Brokers now. J&G Insurance Brokers will help identify and analyze your insurance needs. They will help obtain excellent terms from your insurers. They also facilitate and negotiate your claims and ensure that you are paid promptly. For your one-stop shop for everything insurance, talk to J&G now. Talk to Dr. Gideon Amenyedo on 0244 333335 or 0504 333335 or jnginsuranceB@gmail.com. J&G, negotiating a great insurance deal is our business. Now, Christmas has come very early on Vodafone Cash. You can now withdraw any amount of cash as often as you want without charges, only on Vodafone Cash. Just pay 1 Ghana cedi and enjoy free cash outs for the whole month of November, free of charge. Just dial *110# and select option 9 to subscribe now. Terms and conditions apply. The future is exciting. You ready? Now, finish 2018 stress-free with GCB's 24-hour personal loan. GCB is offering salaried workers with their salary account as GCB personal loans within 24 hours. Just visit any of GCB's over 180 branches nationwide or call 0800 422 422 for the GCB 24-hour personal loan now and see that dream come true. GCB, your bank for life. Now, GRA wishes to remind all withholding tax agents, including VAT withholding agents appointed by the Commissioner General, that withholding taxes must be paid to the Domestic Tax Revenue Division, DTRD, of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, by the 15th of every month. Withholding taxes must be paid on these due dates. They must be paid with an accompanying schedule in both hard and soft copies indicating gross amounts, the tax deducted, and name or names of taxpayer or taxpayers from whom the taxes were withheld. VAT withholding agents must submit the VAT withholding returns. Please note, if you don't pay on the due date, this is 15th November 2018, you pay an interest of 125% of the statutory rate compounded monthly on the outstanding tax.
Don't give up the fight.
Let me come back to my guests on phone and in studio. I'm going to begin quickly with Selom Brantier, who has been with us in studio. Now, Selom, in the first place, when you hear stories like this, you have been living among these people, and it seems incredulous to me, some of the things I'm hearing, people being run over twice by cars. What realistically do you think government has been doing? Do you think government has been doing enough in the past a few months?
You know, I personally have helped rescue 2 people who have been hit by a car on that particular stretch. I remember one evening about 6 years or 7 years ago, I was going to buy food in the evening, and then a car just ran straight into a cyclist. And it happened right in front of me, so I was the one who actually helped pick the guy up, put him in the car, because the driver nearly ran away, but other people stopped him. And as an eyewitness, I have seen cars ram into people at least 4 times on that stretch.
4 times?
Yes, as an eyewitness. I kid you not. I mean, I saw it happen right in front of me. And so this issue is not an issue that we would say is a very recent thing. It's something that has been going on for a while. And, you know, what saddens me is that in this country, most of the leadership in planning or making decisions that are supposed to affect people only look at how they gain in terms of their image and their popularity.
You know what? It's what you're saying that fuels this mindset that made the youth, spark up in the spontaneous demonstration yesterday. How people look at leadership and look at how entitled they look.
Yes.
It seems. But Selim, I want to go on the phone lines quickly because Dr. Kwesi has joined us. He is head of faculty and research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. We want to look at how the police reacted to these demonstrating youth yesterday, if it was indeed something reasonable or it was excessive. Good morning, Dr. Enin. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, Dr. Enin. Dr. Kwesi Enin, good morning. Okay, Selim, let me come back to you. Yes, you can go ahead now, Selim.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So, like I was saying, it's most of the time it looks like some of these things that they do are only for image purposes and nothing else. This is a road that had been planned so long ago. And I remember on Monday when we were talking here in the studio, we had someone high up at the Ministry of Roads and Highways saying they did not anticipate the high population growth in this particular time period. And this just shows that some of the times they do not even think through very clearly what the long-term strategy is for certain projects and what needs to be done. Else, why would you have had that highway having, even first of all, only 6-foot bridges, some of them not even at designated traffic stops or where commercial vehicles would usually disembark passengers and all of that. But even beyond that, the fact that agitations went on for so long and they were continuously disregarded with impunity to the extent that even ministers in charge, sector ministers in charge, were being rude to journalists when they were being queried about some of these things, should tell you that we still have not learned to understand that the wishes of the people are far more important than the power of the positions that certain people occupy. And for me, it is very sad that we had to wait for all this to reach the point where it was almost a national security issue before the government decided to react. It was almost as if on Monday, the appeal that I made and others have been making about the fact that close to 400,000 people depend on this particular stretch of road, and they used it for daily purposes and that they are dying on it. It almost was like it fell on deaf ears. And it's I don't know why it should take this level of agitation before something's as simple. You see, the fact about this is that it is gross negligence to the point that, in fact, if in any other society there would have been a class action suit, first of all, against the ministry itself being the client of a particular road construction activity that has endangered so many lives. Somebody should have been fined. Somebody should have been taken to court. Whoever approved the handover of the contract of the roads and highways for that particular job description, somebody should have been held liable, because there's negligence here when you decide that you are receiving a road that you deem complete, when pedestrians who need to use that road are not catered for in any form or manner. And even if you look at the fact that even some part of the engineering or the engineering design behind some part, the SDA junction, for instance, the traffic lights are designed such that there is no consideration for pedestrians at all. Because when one goes green and one goes red, I mean, at every time there are cars moving. So there was no consideration even made, even in the design of the traffic light and the timing, and
their timing.
Yes,
Michael, Selim raises a point where he says that appeals have been made over and over again, and it's as if authorities were waiting for something like yesterday, what happened yesterday, to happen before they could act. Did you at any point feel pushed to resort to a demonstration like what happened on Friday and what happened yesterday?
Well, for my opinion, none of that was planned. You understand? I think it's about time we the youth have to wake up and probably carry this country on our shoulders, because we can't leave it in the hands of our leaders, because they are not making us any good. You understand? Because what happened on this last week Friday wasn't meant to happen. But then as in we keep on calling, our mothers are dying on this road, please come and do something about it. They kept their hands in between their legs and keep us watching. Or let's say they watch us like probably we are jokers or probably we are lying. Is this the country that we want to build for the youth? I'm asking. And yet when they call them to come and defend what they are doing, they end up getting angry and then cut course on the media. But then I want to ask one question. Why would they keep on hiding their face behind the police to come and do their dirty work for them?
What do you mean by dirty work?
Of course. I would say that because at the end, we keep on crying for the same reason why people are dying. They should come to our aid and then they don't. As if they keep on waiting for what happened yesterday or last Friday should keep on happening. Then they will send in the police to come and clear their works for them. And to talk about the police yesterday, Danny.
Yes, I mean, yesterday.
At all. At all.
Let me bring Selom in for a moment. He wanted to make a comment.
Yesterday, the police, this is one of the things which I'm sure
Dr.
Enin was going to talk about. But from what happened on the ground, I believe that the police were a bit overzealous in their bid to calm the situation down. They manhandled people who had phones and were recording what was going on, to the extent that there is footage of someone being beaten very badly and being dumped on the back of a pickup truck. And in a situation where there was such an uproar uproar of anger, I believe the last thing the police should have done was to fire live bullets regardless of what the situation was. I believe the police should have been better equipped to use things like flares or blanks or something. They did not need to fire live bullets into a situation like that, especially when there was a loss of life because of negligence, because of things that were not the fault of the people making the demonstration. You see, when people feel very insecure, and they have felt like that for a while, and then they get the chance to vent, they will vent in all manners possible.
All right.
It is the matter. This is the time that we believe that there should have been a bit more, a better appeal for the residents to have calmed down instead of firing guns and chasing them and beating a few of them up. I think that was totally uncalled for.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yes.
Can I say something about
Yeah, Nick is on. Nick is with us. Yes, Nick, go ahead.
So for me, the police part was just it was just sad because like when my brother started,
Nick, reposition yourself for us. The line is not clear.
So can you hear me now?
It's better.
Yeah. So when my brother's case came up, I mean, we've been working with the police. We've been going to the police station. You know how Ghana police works. Even up to now, we still haven't been able to even get a docket ready in court. So we've been going to court, and when we go, the case is now called because police have not finished working on the case. And they will tell you that because of the many people who have died on the road, they have a lot of cases that they have to prepare. And so up till now, my brother's own is not ready yet, which is something to put on the side. But what happened yesterday, I expected that the police, especially police in Adentan, they have been witnesses to all that has been happening on the road. Whatever accident happens there, at least a policeman is aware. We report it. So I expected the police not to just come in and start using violence and trying to rather infuriate the people more, because they were actually supposed to. I actually think that Adentan police and the police who were brought in yesterday should have actually been part of that demonstration. That kind of anger that was shown, because the police themselves, have also been, I should say, suffering because of this. Because if you're a policeman and every day you have to be called in to come and see a car hitting somebody on the road, and then suddenly you realize that the people are so angry that their anger just erupts into a riot like this, I expect that the police should have rather been actually guiding the people and helping and actually also registering their own anger over what is happening. Because I don't expect them to demonstrate, but at least they were not supposed to also shoot people and trying to disperse with that kind of crowd control methods that they used yesterday. It was really, really sad.
But at any point, did you feel like the people may have been extreme, may have taken it too far?
Charlie Daniel, you see, personally, at my brother's funeral, I said that maybe we Ghanaians are too soft. We've always been, so we're all suffering. I mean, we people of Adenta have been going through this for a long time. As Salam said, 7 years ago, people were dying, and people have been dying since. You understand? So people have anger built up in them. They just haven't had the opportunity to bring it out. There's a planned demonstration which is supposed to happen on Monday. So yesterday's incident was not planned. It was just more like, after they are breath. So people just erupted. And the truth is that many of the people who were actually planning to be part of the demonstration on Monday were maybe at work or something. I was at work. Many people were not even in their community at the time the thing started. But it was because those around who have been witnessing it, the sellers, the people who have shops by the roadside, the students and all, they have been witnessing the accidents day in, day out. If between Friday and yesterday, 4 people have died, Daniel, do a simple calculation. If at least every week 2 people die, how many would you have since the past 7 years? So people are angry. So I don't expect the police to just think that, because the people are reacting overboard. What is overboard? They were burning tires. They blocked the road. If by blocking the road, that is reacting overboard, maybe I am wrong here. Okay. But the truth is that the people are tired. People are angry. We just needed an avenue to vent. And that is what happened. It's not because people they don't have anything doing and they just saw that, one accident has happened, let's get on the road. They've seen it over and over and over and over. I say that this 194, 195 number we have, it is when somebody or people started counting. But when people were not counting, others have died. And I won't be surprised that the real figures may be going above 500.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick, for joining us this morning. And very sorry about the loss of your brother there, whom you had to bury a few weeks ago. We've been joined on the line by Dr. Kwesienin. He's Director of Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Doc, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, good morning.
What's your evaluation of the police's handling of yesterday's situation?
Well, one of the biggest challenges for the Ghana Police Service is that it has never known how to control crowds. Immediately, there are a couple of people gathered who seem to be agitated. The routine response is to use violence or to use tear gas. So what happened yesterday is really not a surprise. Now, having said that, there is, under the Act establishing the service, Act 350 of 1970, their primary aim is to protect lives and property and to ensure that communities are stable enough for people to go around their routine responsibility. But what happened yesterday in terms of cars knocking down people and citizens getting angry, this is going to get much, much, much worse because our public safety infrastructure has collapsed. Our ability to understand the shifts and the changes and the tensions that are arising in society, and for the institutions that have been established to proactively intervene, prevent, and degrade, so that the tensions that we are seeing in society across board, leading to agitations and increasingly over time, violent acts, is going to overwhelm the uniformed forces. The danger, however, is that when these acts of violence and pent-up anger reaches a certain point, then it is the armed forces who will be brought in. And it's at that point that the tensions within society will explode. So we need to pull back from the brink. But give me 1 minute.
Yes.
Just to inform your listeners about the dangers that I am talking about.
Go ahead, Doc.
If we talk about motor accidents in this country, in 2017, we had 20,444 accidents recorded, of which about 2,100 people died. As of September 2018, we have had 16,281 with 1,700 fatalities. Now, if we add the fatalities that have occurred since September to November, I think we are going close to surpassing the 2017 figures. But it is not just that. We need to drill down and disaggregate the figures so that we can use them for operational assessments plus operational responses. The fatalities that we are seeing, if you take pedestrians, in 2017, 3,400 pedestrians were knocked down, of which 27% of them were killed, and 73% sustained serious injuries. It looks to me as if this year, I haven't disaggregated the data yet, that this year will be a dramatically worse year than last year. So even as a pedestrian walking around, we are not safe.
It's interesting, Doc, how you mentioned that the breakdown of our public safety infrastructure, which leads to these things, presents a threat, a security threat in the nation. Now, what is the reaction that government should have to such agitations? Because I have people with me in studio who say we felt like we used all civil means, it did not work, and spontaneously people decided to demonstrate.
Now, it is the spontaneity of the demonstrations that, were I to be asked for my ideas, I'll tell those who need to respond to take very carefully. We are a country surrounded by very unstable neighbors. There are lots of radicalization and increasingly extremist groups crisscrossing our country. Small arms are available. Our intelligence is failing considerably across board. So let me give you two examples, and I'll tie that into the spontaneity issue and why it is dangerous. If you look at what happened at KNUST, that was a dramatic failure of intelligence for which no one is going to be punished. And we don't seem to know what is being done. The KNUST demonstrations from where I sit was infiltrated, hijacked, and it turned as dramatically violent as it became. So we need to begin to understand who is where at what time, what people are doing, and what their networks are.
Do you think a similar case happened with the Madina Adentan demonstration? Do you think that that could also have been infiltrated?
It's highly probable. And that is where the spontaneity bit becomes extremely dangerous, and why our intelligence men and women must go back to the drawing board and do what intelligence officers do, using proactive information to triangulate, to analyze, assess degrade so they can degrade.
So we don't get to the point where people spontaneously decide to demonstrate because they feel frustrated.
So people can demonstrate, and therein lies the danger. When you and I think a friend that we know has been knocked down, and we get angry and we jump onto the streets, the 3, 4, 5 other people who join us, you and I will think they are also sympathizing with us. That probably they have ulterior motives, because not all those who demonstrated spontaneously yesterday and some of the other days elsewhere know each other. Look, one of the things that in security analysis we don't take very seriously is the emotional dimension of violence. When people are frustrated, hurt, angry, they feel excluded, disrespected, they are victims. They are driven by their emotions, and anyone who seems or looks to support them is perceived to be a friend. So the people that I'm talking about, who are the 5th columnists, that is in the good old days when I was a much younger man and much slimmer without a pot belly, those that we used to call the 5th columnists, professional agitators who want to hijack and divert the aims of the original demonstrator. We need to understand that these things do happen, and but that they actually become much more dangerous. Yeah.
In the midst of all this, do you think the police handled this situation well, and how should they have handled it?
Well, look, I buy my own petrol into my car, so I'm not going to do the police's work for them. All I can say is that we need to use better intelligence, okay? Putting the policemen back on the beat to be able to understand and prevent. First, to understand how communities will react when these things happen, and to be able to prevent it very quickly. But Like I said earlier, if you look at all the commissions of inquiry, until the Okujeto Commission of Inquiry relating to the stadium disaster, the Ghana Police Service does not know how to do route control. And I think yesterday once more demonstrated.
Thank you very much, Dr. Christianin, for joining us this morning. Always, the pleasure is ours. The pleasure is ours, Doc. He is the Director, Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. You're still listening to the Super Morning Show. It's 30 minutes to the top of the hour. We are going to take these important messages. When we come back,
the contactors are back. The contactors are back. Are on the Kwapukrum Africa Road. They are remobilizing. And as I did say, that within 2 months, they will come back, because we had negotiated with them and we had gone far and we had reached an agreement. Yes, it did happen. They came back. And there are issues relating to that. That's why I'm saying that it's not as easy as that. And
so when are they expected to finish the footbridges?
I will speak to that when I come back. Daniel, please don't push me to. I say I will speak to that. Simple. When I come back. Thank you very much.
Well, when we come back, we'll be evaluating government's handling of the situation and looking at exactly what solutions they have proffered. If the people of Madina Adentan think it works for them. Stay with us.
Afi, I am really disappointed with my insurance. They promised me my claim will be paid within 48 hours. But it's exactly 2 months today. A lady called me and said half of the claims that are submitted are not even covered by the insurance policy in the first place. What should I do?
Yeah, I've always advised you to let professionals look after your insurance. Let me call J&J Insurance Brokers to see you this afternoon. I understand they are good at negotiating a great insurance deal. J&J Insurance Brokers are one of its kind. They review your insurance needs, obtain the best price with the best insurer, as well as facilitate your claim.
Give me a contact.
Sure. Contact them on 0244 33 33 35 or 0504 33 33 35. J&J Insurance.
Negotiating a great insurance deal is our business.
Here's what people are saying about the GCB Easy Pick.
It just
just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just makes
It
sense.
just
It
makes
just
sense.
makes sense.
Yes, saving makes a lot more sense now. GCB Bank will pay for anything you buy from phones, TVs, air conditioners, generators, solar equipment to roofing sheets from any GCB partner shop. And you can pay back later at a reduced price of up to 25% in discounts. Simply walk into any GCB partner shop, pick up what you want at a GCB discount price and fill a form. GCB will pay for you so you can pay back later in installments. Go, get it sooner, get it cheaper, pay later. GCB Easy Pick, it just makes sense. Terms and conditions apply.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
With Brussels Airlines, it is already Christmas.
Can you imagine? Christmas is already next month.
Didn't you see the latest promotions of Brussels Airlines? Let's go to New York for Christmas shopping.
Oh, wonderful idea. And all the Christmas lights will be hanging. New York during the holiday season is always magical.
With Brussels Airlines, enjoy the best fares now to New York, Washington, Chicago, and many other U.S. destinations.
Brussels Airlines. We go the extra smile.
Solar Tech, the power to protect. Yes! SolarTech, your tried and trusted brand, is your total solution to all power problems, whether low voltage, high voltage, power surges, spikes, brownouts, or what have you. SolarTech fully protects your valuable equipment. No matter your appliance, we have the perfect SolarTech for you. Choose from my tried and trusted range, such as Fridge Guard, TV Guard, High Volt Guard, Multi Guard, AVS 13, AVS 30, AC Guard, SolarTech TV Stab, SolarTech Fridge Stab, UPS, and SolarTech Voltage Stabilizer. Beware of counterfeit SolarTech products. Get your genuine SolarTech products today at our Abelemkpe office and all our authorized dealers across the country. Contact us at number 10 Yiwa Street, Abelemkpe, or call 0302-761450 or 0302-775106. SolarTech, the power to protect.
Ghana is ready to host the rest of Africa for the 11th edition of the Total CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations, starting from the 17th of November to the 1st of December 2018, right here in Ghana. Who takes the trophy home? Would it be the Black Queens of Ghana, or the Phoenix of Algeria, or the Lionesses of Cameroon, or the Lang National of Equatorial Guinea? Are you rooting for the Les Aiglonnets of Mali, or the Super Falcons of Nigeria, or the Bayana of South Africa, or the She Polo Polo of Zambia? Come cheer your team on and lift flags high as we enjoy the games. Total CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Tournament, Ghana 2018. Proud of our own.
In this part of the world, we rise early, way before the sunrise. We plan, we pray, we prep. Just so we are a step ahead. We keep the conversations going to stay connected to family, friends, and business. They say, Agrobeswa Ifrianopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy MTN Kokroko bundle now.
Home sweet home. Welcome, girl.
Wow. What a stylish sofa.
Oh my God. Oh, girls, you haven't seen anything yet.
Really?
You should go to the Ashford showroom. You'll be blown away. Exquisite sofas like the 7-seater Sankofa, L-shaped MFR, a 6-seater Akoma, 7-seater Ohima, and many more. And as I sat in one of the sofas, oh my goodness, I could feel myself literally dissolve into the softness. And guess what? I said there's no way I'm not getting one for myself.
I know, right?
Visit their showrooms in all the big malls and other locations near you and enjoy free delivery to your doorstep. Call 0243 200 729 or 0248 00 5300. Ashford. Feel it, know it.
Super Morning Show.
Morning show on Joy 99.7 FM. From June 29th, your favorite airline Air Namibia entered Ghanaian skies, linking Accra to various destinations in southern Africa, as well as linking Accra to Lagos, offering the award-winning superior service. Our destinations from Accra include Johannesburg, Cape Town, Windhoek, and the rest of Southern Africa. Destinations from Accra also include Lagos in Nigeria. Tickets are available at the Adabraka ticketing office opposite Trust Towers and airport ticketing offices. The tickets start from as low as $490. Customer service team is available for you 24/7, whenever, wherever. For further inquiries, please call 050-947-1306 or 050-947-1282 or email accra.sales@airnamibia.aero. Air Namibia, carrying the spirit of Namibia. I'm here in the studio with Selom Brantier. He's a resident of Ashaliboche. Michael Nimate is an Adenta resident. Samson Boafu is also an Adenta resident. Michael, Selom, and Samson have all experienced the loss of someone they know. They've all lost their friends to road accidents on the Madina Adentan highway. Earlier, we spoke to Nick, who lost his brother. Samson lost his girlfriend and two other very good friends of his. They were all friends with Michael as well. We've also spoken with Dr. Kwesi Ening, who has stated clearly that the police has never known how to handle crowds, and they displayed that yesterday during the Madina Adentan demonstration. I see my guests in studio agreeing with him in toto. Our text messages are brought to you by Afrodan. Your back must last you a lifetime. Glyco Travel Insurance policy, we cushion you for life. Afrodan is offering you today the most comfortable chair in the world, period. The Nightingale Extreme Comfort Chair with over 10 thoughtfully engineered features, especially customized for your health and comfort. Go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade and feel this chair. You will be amazed. Now, before we hear Kwesi Amwakwata, Minister for Roads and Highways, let's hear anymore what listeners have been saying before I come to you for your thoughts as well.
Okay, 1 second. So I'm going to start with this one. This is from Tafa. She says, I'm highly disappointed with the minister. This arrogance of power should stop. Cecil says the cost of 4 V8 cars can complete the 6-foot bridges at Adentan. The issue is our politicians don't care about our lives. They are just selfish. This one says, good morning. I could not control my tears listening to the breaking news on the WAS student who met her untimely death. But seriously, it's high time we stop electing these old men into power who do not have the needs of the citizens at heart. All they're interested in is amassing wealth for themselves. We're tired of their lies and blame games. That's from Niama Ashite of Tema Community 8. Samson in La Paz says the attitude of the police and the politicians is one that can be described as an oppressive rule, which is what our national anthem tasks us to resist. How can the police fire live bullets at people they are mandated to protect? The policeman who shot at the woman and her child should be made to face the law. And as for the stomach-directed politician, let him come again. 7th December 2020 is just around the corner. That's from Samson in La Paz. And I mean, my own personal thoughts this morning, I want to say good morning to you, Mr. President, to Mr. Kwesi Amwakwata. I also want to say good morning to you, Mr. Kweku Ofori Isiama. I guess in another part of the world, we may have been hearing the voice of our commander-in-chief or of our president speaking to the nation, but this morning all we hear is silence. And Mr. President, we understand that you have a lot to deal with. There's budgetary allocations, there's financial constraints that we're dealing with. We know we have a lot of loans to pay back. We know that 6% of us don't pay our taxes. We know that 6.8 million of us are poor. We know that 2.4 million of us live in extreme poverty. We know that mothers are dying and fathers are committing suicide because of poverty. We know and we understand that you have so many things to deal with. We get that. But do you hear us this morning? So Lillian died last Friday, and Richmond went to bury Julius, and on his way back, he was hit by a car. He lay in the gutter until the next morning.
Yeah, he was found in the gutter.
He was found in the gutter the next morning. There was an 11-year-old boy who was going to school in the morning and he was hit by a car. There have been 190 others apart from these 4 that I've mentioned. And to some of us, they may be nameless because we can't name all of them, and they're faceless because we don't know all of them. But to people like Selim and Samson, these are people that they loved. These are people who had dreams, and these are people who had visions. So yes, we really do understand that you are busy and you're dealing with a lot of things. But your mandate was that you would do this for us, that you would find the money to build these bridges. Selim, these bridges are not, it's not like they don't exist.
No, they don't need to start them from the scratch.
They need stairs, they need disability access.
Ramps.
Yeah,
they need ramps.
They need ramps, they need stairs, and then maybe, balusters or guides.
That's all that they need, and we've been crying out. The minister spoke to us and he says that he is doing something else. So when he comes back, he will deal with it. He didn't tell us that when he comes back, work will start. He said when he comes back, then he will begin to deal with it. So we're asking you this morning, what is the value of one life? But we can almost answer that, can't we? And the answer would be nothing. What's the value of 20 lives? Nothing. What's the value of 100? Nothing, because it has taken 194 people to die for us to get a statement that suddenly you have this ability that has been given to you by God yesterday to be able to find money to start this work next week. So are we going to blame God for not giving you the ability to have come up with this idea? Who exactly do you want us to blame this morning? Because I'm with the people of Adentan. We're angry and we're sad and we're grieving and we want somebody to blame. So tell us who to blame. When after 194 deaths, now you tell us that next week you are going to find the money to do this. Could you not have done this last year? But of course, all of this will meet with your silence because you're not actually saying anything to us this morning. So, Mr. President, good morning. Mr. Kwesi Amoakwata, we are waiting to hear from you. We're still waiting to hear from you. Mr. Kweku Ofori-Esiama, we are also waiting to hear from you. And once again...
And Ambrose Derry.
And Ambrose Derry, we're waiting to hear from you. Once again, we say a hollow sorry to the families who have lost their children, their mothers, their fathers. There's been children going to school. There's been people getting married. There was even one trader who was on her way to work and she was hit by a trotro. And this is the effect of the decisions that we make when we don't care enough to listen to our people. So that's where my mind is on this, Daniel, this morning.
I just want to add a quick... I tend to sound cynical in moments like this, so I'll call it what I call it. It's an interesting fun fact. It's tweeted by @StatsGH. We have asked 4 contractors. They estimate the cost of one complete footbridge built from scratch at $120,000. That's just a little higher than the cost of one Toyota Land Cruiser with extra specs. Almost all 275 members of parliament got Land Cruisers. It was a loan. It was a Land Cruiser loan.
Yeah.
They got Land Cruisers given them in some form by the state. This is a tweet from @StatsGH. So let's go ahead. Since yesterday, I've been receiving a lot of phone calls from concerned Ghanaians who tell me, let's do this. I even got a call from someone who said, let's go and build the bridges ourselves and ask that in December 2020, we get another slot on the ballot paper called none of the above. Yeah. Absolutely. So I've been calling some of these actions that we have been gathering, and we've been doing a lot of work on our own. So these are our recommendations as a team. If anyone is listening, good morning. 1, let's immediately repair all the existing traffic lights to control the flow of vehicular movement and create ample opportunities for safe crossing. You heard Selim say this morning how even the cycle of traffic lights. And we have tried to cross the road to Tot to Teen School at SDA Junction, where the filling station is, right over to Tot to Teen School. We have seen traffic wardens risk their lives trying to stop cars to let children cross. We've seen women carrying babies. Do you remember anymore when we saw this woman carrying a baby, trying to run as fast as she can?
She was holding a baby and a toddler.
And a toddler. And she was trying to run as fast as we can. But you tell me, if you're listening, how fast can you run?
When you have a baby and
a toddler, and there's no and please, there's no zebra crossing there on any of these sections. No, there isn't. Okay, we properly mark all points for pedestrian crossing and equip them with the appropriate pedestrian traffic lights, because as I suggested, there's no zebra crossing on any of these places. 3. Points 1 and 2 above safely operationalizes existing crossing points at SDA Junction, Ritz Junction, Zongo Junction, and Adenta Old Barrier. However, a further assessment shows that the distances between each of these points are quite significant and will inhibit functional and safe compliance by pedestrians. This reasonably accounts for the design of the footbridges between these stretches, while we await the completion of the footbridges, which could take some time. The last timeline we had was some 4 to 12 months. Between 3 months when the work begins and ending next year. We just heard in yesterday's statement, thanks to a dint of divine intervention, I use that expression advisedly, forgive me, that is going to start in about a week. Okay, so whilst we are waiting for them to complete it, the recommendation is that let's create a pedestrian way through the median at selected points between each stretch. Because for the life of me, I don't understand why we have a dwarf wall as a median when there's no walkway. I don't understand. If there's a dwarf wall and there's a walkway above, that's cool. But there's no walkway. Why is there a dwarf wall? So let's try and create some manned pedestrian crossings. Let's dually mark these points and install temporary pedestrian traffic lights at the points in what we just mentioned, and also liaise with the appropriate authorities to deploy MTTD officers from the Ghana Police Service to man these points. And please, the deployment of the MTTD officers is on the statement that Mr. Marquata, Mr. Ambrose Derry, and Mr. Kweko Isiama released at 10 p.m. last night. We don't know if they will call from the about 50 officers who went to try and stop the demonstration yesterday, but clearly we have quite a number of officers available, because even as a district assembly, traffic wardens were able to be deployed. So I'm just going to go through the recommended actions again, whilst I'm giving you time to call us. 0302 216 541 0244 340 437. Our recommended actions. 1. We immediately repair all existing traffic lights to control the flow of vehicular movement and create ample opportunities for safe crossing. 2. We properly mark all points for the pedestrian crossing and equip them with the appropriate pedestrian traffic lights. 3. Point 1 and 2 above safely operationalizes existing crossing points at SDA Junction, Ritz Junction, Zongo Junction, and Adenta Old Barrier. However, a further assessment shows that the distances between each of these points are quite significant and will inhibit functional and safe compliance by pedestrians. This reasonably accounts for the design of footbridges between these stretches. Now, while we await the completion of the footbridges, which will take some time, 4 to 12 months, the following is recommended for immediate action. Create a pedestrian way through the median at selected points between each stretch. Duly mark these points and install temporary pedestrian traffic lights as the points in I above, that is, the pedestrian stretches. And finally, liaise with the appropriate authorities to deploy MTTD officers from the Ghana Police Service to man these points. These are our simple recommendations if someone is listening. Nana is calling us from Kolebu. Good morning, Nana.
Yeah, hello. Good morning, Daniel.
Let's hear you.
It's a very sad morning today. But I think that in as much as we are trying to solve the Adenta roads issue, we should look at from Malam Junction to Kaswa. That's also another place. It's very terrible on that road. If you even try to stop for somebody to cross, you are in trouble, you who are stopping in your vehicle. How much more pedestrians? Our politicians have taken us for granted for far too long, and I think that people must wake up. We must wake up. Our politicians must know that we are watching them. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana. You called us from Kolebu. 0302-216-541 0244-340-437. You can call us, but Enima has a few more of your messages.
Yes, Samson from La Paz says these are politicians are heartless. So where are they getting the money that's going to be used for construction now? As for the police, the less said about them, the better. The way they were shooting and behaving as if they were dealing with animals and not humans. This one says, I'm a user of this road and I was nearly knocked down by a speeding car whose driver was trying to beat the red light. Similar to what happened yesterday. Sorry.
Right, thanks anymore. Kwesi is calling us from Ashaliboche. Kwesi, I'm sure you've used this road on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
Great. Let's hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to find out. So these recommendations, are they coming from Joy FM or they are coming from any particular institution?
No, these are our recommendations. We put them together.
Oh, okay. I think that's a very good job because I think that as much as the government is to be blamed or the state institutions are to be blamed, I think in the last 2 weeks we've quite flogged the issue, but there were other recommendations we could have made to have stabilized even in the last 2 weeks. So these recommendations are quite important. I mean, I've even always wondered whether that particular road, I was listening to Telom, I think, earlier during the week, and I've even wondered whether that particular road needs to be a high-speed highway because he mentions of, and I also know, of a lot of schools, a lot of churches. It's quite a very high residential area. I've wondered whether it should even be a high-speed highway because I think we take some of these things for granted. So
the truth, Kwesi, is that it splits one community into two. That's what it does. This highway. So people have half their lives on one side and people have half their lives on the other side. So you are actually raising a very, very important point there, Kwesi.
Yes, because I mean, sometimes I think, we are happy to have nice roads. I mean, I've known that road for a long while. It was pretty terrible when it was not a dual carriage and all that. And it's exciting for us to have a very nice, beautiful road. But if it's killing people, it's important for us to relook at the road in terms of what other interventions that can be done. I mean, it's very clear that even if they were to start the construction of the footbridges next week, some time to be completed. But what can we do in the interim to be able to stabilize is what I think the government should be speaking to so that even they come on the airways. Yes, they cannot promise us that they will construct the airways, the
footbridges in time, but something can be done in the interim.
What are we doing? Are we putting 50 policemen on the road?
Thank you very much, Kwesi. You called us from Ashaliboche. Abeku is calling from Tema. Good morning, Abeku.
Good morning.
Great. Let's hear you.
My issue is I'm very sure that none of the politicians live in that area, and if they do, their kids or their family members don't cross the road. They are always driven, escorted, so they don't feel what the citizenry is feeling. And it's time to take them on. And we shouldn't only look at the Madina Adentan road. We should look at it holistically and deal with it because now the attention is on that road. Tomorrow, there will be another road. And this is a caution to politicians. Next time, maybe I will be their family member.
Unfortunately, Abeku, the quality of the line is very poor. Let me go to the other line and call and take Belinda. She's calling from Dansoman. Abeku, please try calling us back. We would take you on. Good morning, Belinda.
Good morning, Daniel.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, in as much as we are all on the authorities for fixing of road and the bridges, can we also look at educating pedestrians on how to cross the road safely when the need arises, and also the drivers on the road as well to take their time and in using that road? I think it's very, very important for pedestrians to know when to cross road and when not. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Belinda, for calling us. Mike is also on the line. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Dan.
Let's hear you, Mike.
Yeah. For me, I keep following this issue. Hence, you raised this issue about a week ago, and I want to commend Joy FM so much for a very good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. I'm grateful for Joy FM. I want to thank you for helping people of Ghana for their safety. I think that what I want to say is that, like each and every Ghanaian will think this morning, safety, health and safety is no more and a big matter for Ghana. For that matter, we don't care. And in fact, I'm for Joy FM this morning, and I'm just thanking you guys for we started this campaign for more than a week. And I listened to the interview you had with the road minister. What he said, I think it makes me crazy because you cannot say that to a situation that need emergency to be attended to. You are talking about 1 week. So I think that man he should be ashamed of himself. I think that he's too proud. He needs not to be a minister of road in this country.
Right, Mike, thanks for calling us this morning. Let me take another message before we go ahead. Anymore?
Okay, Della from Dodowa says, my heart goes out to the family that have lost their loved ones. This one says, how could the police use live ammunition in a situation like this when unarmed civilians are protesting about people dying? Then the police who are there to protect us are rather killing us. Ajon Accra says, please, the commander of whichever unit was deployed to control the demonstrating crowds on the Adentan highway should be fired with immediate effect. Some concerned lawyers should help all victims of the police action yesterday to sue the Ghana police pro bono. Amofa from Adenta says, good morning. The incident at WAS and the reaction of the police caused serious traffic jam around the area in the evening, and we're still feeling the repercussions of that. This one says, so what are they doing about the policeman that shot the boy and the mother? I wonder why this Ghanaian public servant would take the law into his own hands like that. 194 people dead on one road. May God save Ghana. That's from Eric inside Tema Community 25.
Thanks, Enimwa, and thanks to all of you, our texters. Our final caller this morning is Kevin. He's on the line from Tema. Good morning, Kevin.
Daniel, this is so sad. I don't know what to say now, Daniel. Last week I wanted to call. The day that you called the minister, then the minister was giving you, he was not giving you any tangible answers. I wanted to call and tell you that somebody will die again. Somebody will die again. Look at Enimwa voice. He's shaking. He's shaking. I think that's, I don't know. This is too much.
Kevin.
Look at their flashy cars that they bought for them. Are we on a war battle? We are not on a war battle. Using live bullets. It's too much, Daniel. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for calling us. He called us from Tema. Let me give my guests in studio a minute each to wrap up. Michael.
All right. Dan, thanks. But then all I want to say is I think the Ghana police have to go back to their drawing board and then have a proper way of handling things like this, because you could see clearly what happened yesterday. You are trying to control a scene like this. As a commander, you came in with your bare hands and then normal voice. How could you reach over 500 people and talk to them, not even on a megaphone? And I ask, so how can you talk to all these people? How would they listen to you? You come to me and tell me we should go back. What of those at the back? They came without even a megaphone. The whole Ghana police service. That is poor. That is unprofessional about them. They should go back to the drawing board and do their work well. We shouldn't be the one coming to tell them how to put on their pants.
Michael, thank you very much, first of all, for joining us and
Thank
for
you.
sharing your difficult moments with us. Selom, you have the final word on this.
Yeah, Rest in peace to all those who have lost their lives. The battle is not yet over, not by any stretch. The Minister for Roads and Highways owes the people of Adenta and Madina an apology, an unreserved one, because we need him to man up and stand up and take responsibility for what has happened. It is under his stewardship that this has happened, and there is no other excuse around it. Whilst all of this was going on, I also believe that certain things that could have been done very easily, like the police deploying personnel to actually man these places, should have been something that we wouldn't have needed to ask or request for, since they are the same people who have been logging in all the accidents that have been coming in. And so it is sad for me that when the accidents were happening, people's lives were in danger, nobody responded from the police, but they had personnel to come in and fight people who were expressing their anger and displeasure about the same deaths. And for me, that leaves a lot to be desired from the police. On Monday, we are going to hit the streets. On Monday the 12th, at 5 a.m., we are going to hit the streets. Regardless of the promise that has been made, we still need to have the minister possibly come there himself and come and address us. Because until yesterday, the whole approach towards it was one of extreme arrogance, even when it was very clear that there was criminal negligence as far as this had gone on. And therefore, we, the people of Adenta, deserve much better than we got. And this was a raw deal for us. Hopefully, this encounter is over, but we will also expect to see action on the footbridges.
Thank you very much, Selom Brantier. Selom is a resident of Ashaliboche, and he's also Vice President of Imani Africa. Michael Niamate is also a resident of Adenta. A lot of you have been asking us today about the welfare of the boy who was shot by a stray bullet during yesterday's demonstration. He's doing well. He's currently at the Nyaho Clinic. We've been speaking to his uncle, who has declined to speak on air, but he's doing very, very, very well. And thanks a lot for all the concern that you've showed. Because we're going to take these important messages, after which we have a conversation on the advertising bill with Francis Daze of the Advertisers Association of Ghana.